Hello, beautiful beings. The sun has just come out for you to receive this video. I am using my new mic. I invested in a new mic. So I hope that the sound quality is good. Although it would also be nice for you to hear the river. I'm at the river just now. It is my first day back home after being away for just over a week. And yeah, I'm just grounding back into home, the land here, into my own energy, my own body, and it feels really, really good. So today I wanted to give you a little update, a life update, because I know that I've been absent from YouTube, from most social media, to be honest, for it feels like a long time. And that's because, as many of you I'm sure know, but I am getting ready to go traveling, a long-term trip, which it's going to be about 9 months long, I think. I have travel insurance for 9 months because this trip really feels like it is being orchestrated by spirit, and I don't really have any control over what's happening, which ties into the themes that I want to speak about today with the upcoming lunar eclipse in Pisces. So I first wanted to say, I have been very busy getting organized for my travels. Lots of just little things that you need to do before you go traveling, and things that I need to buy, and so hence I've not been working so much. I also experienced a very sudden kind of shock to the system, a family emergency. One of my close family members had a really close call with death, but it is not her time yet. And that really shocked me into presence in a really beautiful and powerful way, and it really shocked me into my power and reminded me of my immortality, really. Sorry, my mortality, not my immortality, my mortality, and everyone's mortality. And as someone that has lived with chronic pain most of my life, I'm very aware of mortality, because having chronic pain is kind of like being in between death and life very often. And that can feel like having intense flare-ups where you're immobile and you're not able to move, and that feels like you're dying, like on a psychic level. It feels like death. But then you come back and your body heals itself, and it's like, oh my God, we're alive again. And so mortality is something that I'm very aware of, and I find death just as interesting as I find life. So this experience really shocked me into like, okay, how do you want to live your life? Like we have so much choice. When scary things happen, maybe parts of us want to shut down and to kind of like hide away, and that really doesn't serve us. Sometimes we need to do that for a little while. We need to kind of like rejuvenate and rest and retreat. But there's a difference between like actively giving yourself rest and respite than there is from like completely shutting down. And I understand, sometimes the nervous system, all it can do is shut down because it's not like quite retrained itself yet to be able to keep going during times of like stress or grief or loss or crisis. But this experience really taught me like I've come such a long way on my own healing journey, and now when faced with crisis or panic or whatever it is, I'm able to hold it, and I'm able to move through it, and I'm able to keep going. And I think that's something that a lot of us are learning right now, the collective is learning in 2026, is to not put your life on hold when you're doing healing, to not stop living when something heartbreaking happens. It's like, how can you keep showing up? How can you continue to live your life and give life to the things that you love and the people that you love and what you're creating and what your purpose is. Like, how can you keep going? And so all of this really ties into this energy that we're experiencing right now, between eclipses. So I'm sure you all know that we had a solar eclipse in Leo and a new moon. So if there's ever a solar eclipse, there's also a new moon. Like, a solar eclipse cannot happen without a new moon. And this is because the new moon is like a blank slate. It's dark. There's no light from the moon. The moon is facing the other way. So therefore, when the moon passes over the sun, we have that beautiful, eerie black circle, right? And there's just like a ring of fire because the moon is blocking the sun's light. And yeah, when that happens on an energetic level, what that does is it shines a light on all the parts of ourselves that have been hidden, that have been in the darkness. And you know, a new moon is all about stepping into new energy. It's a clean slate. It's like, where are you headed? And especially with a new moon and a solar eclipse in Leo, the sun and the moon were both in Leo. Mercury was also in Leo. Jupiter is in Leo. South Node is in Leo. There's a lot of planets in Leo. It's an energy of renewal, of like, who are you? What is your relationship with power? Hello, sun. What is your relationship with leadership? Are you a leader? Like, how are you being called to step up in your life? Because we're all leaders in our own lives. You lead your own life. You're, you know, the master of your reality. You're the magician of your game in which you live, right? So yeah, that new moon solar eclipse in Leo for me was deeply activating because I am a Leo. But for all of us, you know, like everyone who witnessed that spectacle, that beautiful astronomical alignment, it really does something to us on an energetic level, you know. And that those few minutes where there's just black, like the sky goes dark and there's just this ring of light, it's like, what does that bring up for you? And for a lot of us, it can feel like fear, because it brings up all the parts of yourself that still need love, that still need care, that need light shown on them, so that they can be integrated and accepted as part of yourself, your whole self. So it's a really, really special time that we're in right now. And so that was last week, or the week before. Can't remember. My days are all muddled up now in my head. But on the 28th of August, in just a few days, we have a lunar eclipse in Pisces happening in the first decan of Pisces at 4 degrees. And a lunar eclipse happens when there is a full moon. And whoa, a fish just like, that's so beautiful. I'm at the river and a fish just like jumped out the water and then back in. And Pisces animal is the fish. So hello fish, sing hello, blessing this video. And so yeah, lunar eclipse is when there is a full moon. And so it's very like amplified. And this full moon, this lunar eclipse in Pisces is, you know, Pisces is one of the most emotional signs. It's the last sign of the zodiac. So it's a time of purging. And what I find quite interesting about this eclipse season is like, it feels like it's happening backwards, because it feels like energetically it would have made more sense if we had a lunar eclipse in Pisces first and then a solar eclipse in Leo. But that's just not how the planets are rolling. It doesn't work like that. But it's like that then would have been like the purge and then the renewal. But actually instead, it's like we've had the renewal, or we've had like insight into what is it that you're not happy with in your life? What are you moving towards? What do you want to create in your life? And now we're getting the release from the lunar eclipse in Pisces. And so, yeah, some of the themes around this is very much to do with like your willpower and then surrendering. So your relationship with like actioning and when you take action on things. So like knowing the difference between taking action that is aligned and that is in a flow state compared to taking action out of fear, out of control, out of feeling like you don't have a plan. And so, you know, Pisces is very much a sign of surrender. It goes with the flow. It's ruled by water. It's ruled by Neptune, the planet of dreams and spirituality and mysticism. So Pisces is like, they don't have a life plan, you know, they know that the divine plan is the only real plan, because you can plan all you want in life, but you're not the only person that's like co-creating your reality, you know. There's a collective consciousness, there's a collective unconscious, there's the universe, there is the unseen realms, and so I really feel like the message and the medicine of this lunar eclipse in Pisces is like surrender. Surrender your heart to what it is you know you want. It's about intention setting, like living from a place of intention, integrity, and alignment, instead of, oh, I want to do this thing, or I want to train in this thing, so I need to therefore go and find someone right now to train in this thing. And I use this example because this is something that I am experiencing right now. You know, I'm away to travel Asia for at least 6 months, and I have a lot of intention to study, you know, to study meditation on a deeper level, to study energy work, to attend lots of kirtan, to, you know, in India, I want to speak to yogis, I want to speak to people who are just like deeply immersed in their own culture and learn from them and their culture, because, you know, I don't have access to that here, or it's only through a screen here, and I want to physically be in an environment where I can feel that energy, you know, of like what that country's spirituality is and feels like. And in India, a lot of that is movement and song and prayer and chanting and mantra. And so, you know, my intention is to learn and to study and to experience that. I don't want to do it through spending £3,000 on a course and doing it online and then going to India for 2 weeks. I want to be guided by where I'm supposed to go, you know. And so I've been experiencing this energy of like, this always happens, I feel, before. If you're a traveler, I'm sure you're well aware of the cycles the mind goes through before you travel, right? It's like, even though you know that it's completely aligned to what you're doing and it's the path that you're on and like you wouldn't change it for the world, there's still parts of the brain that says, oh, maybe I should have done this instead, or maybe I should be more organized. And for me, the way I travel is very, very heart-led. I mean, the last time I went to Asia, I had slightly more of a plan. I went and studied plant medicine and breath work for a month in Thailand, and then I kind of met a community in Thailand and lived in Thailand, and so I was more kind of set up. But this time I don't have that. I'm going over to the other side of the world where I don't know anyone, and that doesn't scare me at all. Like, I'm very open, my heart is extremely open to that. But there's a part of me that then goes, oh, are you being too nomadic? Are you being too free-spirited? Are you being too just like unconventional by being so in the divine plan and not really having my own plan? And so it's when I have these thoughts, I have to remember that my intention is enough. Like, my intention for knowing what I want to be doing with my life and my purpose, and to be of service to this world. And I know the things I want to study, and I know that I could, like, yeah, sure, I could completely change my plan and go, okay, I know what I want to study, so let's do the thing that has more of a structure and a sense of safety or security. And that would maybe mean that I moved back to the city and just studied shamanism and somatic work in Scotland, right? But that's not going to give me the same experience that my heart is longing for, which is to be deeply activated through using my body as a vehicle for travel, for learning, for expansion, for higher education, for spiritual pursuit, for spiritual insight, for experiences that you should just always encounter when you're traveling, unfortunate experiences, stressful experiences, things that really help shift you into a state of surrender, but at the same time a state of empowerment. And that might be as simple as like your flight gets delayed and you need to sleep at the airport and you're like exhausted, but it's like, well, there's literally nothing you can do. So in that moment you have to surrender, but you can also be empowered by allowing yourself to surrender and not trying to control the situation. And so yeah, this is just something I've been reflecting on a lot, is this like Leo, Pisces, in between eclipse energy that we're at. And so this might be showing up for you as you might feel like you're trying to get ahead and you're like, okay, I'm going to go and do this thing. And it's like you're waiting for the new thing to come in. Maybe that is you're in between houses, you're selling your house, you're moving into a new house, you've just relocated. Maybe you're getting a new job, you've been offered a new job, maybe you're unemployed at the moment, maybe you've just broken up from a long-term partnership, maybe you've just started dating again, maybe you're discovering your sexuality. There's big life changes and personal shifts that happen during eclipses, because eclipses are all, it's lunar energy, and lunar is emotional. And then solar energy is, it's physical. It's how we operate in this world. How are we using our physical vessels to align with our emotional bodies, and what it is that we want to experience and feel and do and receive and give in this world. And so I feel like, if you're in this in-between and it feels exciting, but also a bit nerve-wracking, like just know that that's exactly where you're supposed to be. And Pisces really teaches us surrender through slowing down, through being more present, through, when we then slow down, we feel our emotions more. So it's also a bit of an initiation into like things that you've maybe gone through this year that have felt really heavy. They might come up for you this weekend with the lunar eclipse, and let them, let that grief, whatever it is, the emotion there, let it wash you, so that then you can go forward, follow your North Star. And speaking of North Stars, I want to touch on that. It's getting quite cold here. I'm going to put my jumper on. Hello, I'm back. Speaking of North Stars, the other thing that we're going to experience after this full moon in Pisces, this lunar eclipse, is the North Node is in Aquarius now. So this is very activating for the collective, because Aquarius rules community. Aquarius rules originality, innovation. It's about coming together. So on the other side, we have the South Node in Leo. And this is going to teach us, like, what is it that we're releasing in relation to feeling disempowered, feeling powerless, feeling helpless, victimhood. Like, this is all of the themes that are going to come up for everyone over the next 18 months. Because the South Node is in Leo, it's about releasing old stories and beliefs about yourself, about why you can't do the thing that you dream of, or become the person that you dream of or aspire to be. It's like you're really gonna see your own bullshit clearer than ever. And then this beautiful North Node in Aquarius is like, so you might as well just fucking do it. You might as well embarrass yourself. You might as well do the thing that feels terrifying, because it's like, at the end of the day, no one actually really cares. Like, we put so much pressure on ourselves and how we are perceived in this world, but like, really the most liberating thing you can do for yourself is to express yourself fully express yourself, which is so Aquarian. Okay, like, Aquarius is like the freakiest sign, it doesn't care what it looks like. It wants to look good. In terms of like, looking good to Aquarius is just being itself and dressing how it wants to dress and expressing and dancing and moving and creating and talking its truth. It's very much rooted in authenticity and originality. So these are all the themes that we are being called into now. And this, this last lunar eclipse in Pisces, this full moon, is just the last purge of like emotions that are attached to your old identity. And so it's like about grieving that and letting yourself grieve it, and then you can move on. You can switch, you know, into that Leo energy, because whilst Jupiter is in Leo, where it's going to be for, again, about a year and a half, sorry, not quite as long as that, it'll move out of Leo next July, the end of July 2027. But whilst it's in Leo, it's like, it's beautiful. This is Jupiter, by the way. It is very much like, now is the time. Do the thing you want to fucking do. Stop putting it off. Stop telling yourself why you can't. You know, Leo is the leader. It is the lion. It is the heart. It is courage. It is bravery. It is strength. And Jupiter wants to expand all of those qualities. So, yes, that is my transmission for the eclipses. I hope that that helps. And yeah, I hope to be making more content over the next couple of weeks. I leave for Indonesia 2 weeks today. I'll be on the plane in 2 weeks' time. So I do, yeah, sorry for the lack of content, guys, but life has just required me to be much more in the physical world and spend way more time offline recently. But yeah, once I, you know, have more time to myself, and once I'm actually in Bali, I'm sure that I will be recording a lot more content and sharing it all with you. And good news, I'm going to order my vlogging camera so that the quality of these videos is going to be so much better. It's like the last little thing that I need to buy before my trip. And I'm really excited. So thank you all for being here. I'm sending you all so much love. And yeah, I hope that you can flow with the eclipse energy, and just remember to be like the river and let yourself flow to where you need to go to.